Hello again, First Alliance family. It's good to be with you online again. Have a couple of announcements to share with you and a word of encouragement. First of all, you may have received an email from me this week inviting you to pray with us. On Friday mornings, the pastors get together and pray for the church and for our ministries. We're usually reading a book together about ministry leadership and encouraging each other and sharpening each other through those discussions. And so in the email I sent out, I invited anyone who wants to join in prayer with us during that time to just set a reminder on your phone, set an alarm, a notification, whatever, to pray at 9:08 on Friday mornings. It can just be a quick prayer. You might be in the middle of work or school, might not have time to set aside a long prayer time in that moment, but we believe that there's power in uniting together in prayer, and that's one way we can do that. Why 9:08? Well, the pastors are starting their meeting at 9, but 9:08 is our address, 908 47th Street South, so I thought it'd be a creative way to remember to come together in prayer for those few minutes. So if you want to join in that initiative, you don't have to tell us anything, you don't have to sign up or log in or anything like that. You can just set a reminder for yourself and pray for our church, for our leaders, for our community and world at this time. And we'll just see what God does through the prayers of his people. As many of you are aware, the governor announced this past week that we have a phased reopening to the state of Montana following the shelter-in-place order. In phase one includes an opportunity for churches to gather again for public worship services with reduced seating and with the need to maintain social distancing. Members of our board, the committee that our board put together, met Thursday night to start forming a plan for how we're going to bring everyone back together in a safe way in line with the governor's plan. Our first worship services, again with reduced seating capacity, will happen on Sunday, May 10th. That's Mother's Day, and a wonderful time for us to start gathering back together again. But we want to encourage you, if you're sick, or if you are considered one of the more vulnerable to infection, or if you're just not comfortable being out in a public setting like that yet, you can still stay home and worship with us online. We're going to continue to offer opportunities for you to connect with us online and join in worship that way. One of the reasons that we're waiting until May 10th is to help us transition our online services to allow us to live stream what's happening here on Sunday mornings. So that's quite a bit of work. So we needed a little bit of extra time to get that all lined up and ready to go so that it's done in a quality way that can enhance your worship at home. A few details about those services that you will need to know. Times will be the same, 9 o'clock and 10:30, like they've always been. We're going to be taking some chairs out of the sanctuary to help encourage social distancing in between different families, in between non-household members, as the governor's order dictated. We'll also be providing an offering plate in the foyer. We'll be providing some hand sanitizers, stations to help keep you from having to have a lot of extra physical contact with other people. And we'll be encouraging you to maintain social distancing before and after the service, again, just to keep everyone safe. You can wear a mask if you want to, if that makes you feel more comfortable, that would be just fine. We won't be offering nursery, children's Sunday school or other ministries, children's church, other ministries like that at this time, because there's no way for us to ensure social distancing in those contexts. I'm sending out a letter from the pastors this week that will detail more of how our plan is coming together. So be on the lookout for that. It'll come via email, but for those of you who don't have email, we can certainly send you a hard copy. I want to close with just a brief passage of scripture here that has really meant a lot to me. And it's about waiting, because we've certainly been learning some things about waiting during this time of sheltering in place. We've been waiting to get back together. We've been waiting to be able to be out in public and feel safe. We've been waiting on God to see what he's going to do through this time. In Psalm 130, verses 5 and 6, the psalmist wrote, "I wait for the Lord, my soul waits, and in his word I put my hope. My soul waits for the Lord more than watchmen wait for the morning, more than watchmen wait for the morning." Commentators believe that that psalm was written during the Babylonian captivity. And if that is true, that means that the psalmist was waiting on God to bring them back, bring his people back to the land, to answer the question, are you done with us? Have you given up on us? What's happening? What are you doing in this season? That's what waiting is, leaning into God and asking him what he's doing in whatever season of life we find ourselves in. And that's what I encourage you to do during this time. Even though things are going to start to open back up and we can come back together, we're still waiting on God. We're still leaning into what he has for us right now. And so I want to encourage you to join us in doing that. And waiting doesn't mean just distracting ourselves until our circumstances change. It means devoting our whole selves into our worship, into our prayer, into our discipleship, into our engagement with Jesus at this time. So pray for me as I will pray for you, that we wait with intentionality, with diligence for what the Lord is going to do. I look forward to communicating with you more, and I can't wait until we're back together again. I love you all. Have a great Sunday.